Hey everyone, welcome to Live Trading Thursday. My name is David Verbruggen. I am excited to be with you in the new year 2023. Very excited because, new beginnings are always a fresh start. And I've grown to love those. I think I like those so much that instead of doing New Year's resolutions, I want to do quarterly goals. So every 3 months, I'm like, a new beginning. Yes, let's do this. So I'm very excited. It's been about 3 weeks since we had our last live trading Thursday. So here we go. We're going to be jumping right in. A lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff that I'm going to share with you. But in a way, if you haven't looked at the market in the last 3 weeks, you haven't missed a thing. So we're going to show that as well. Guys, you know how this goes. Go ahead and send in your tickers, any trades that you want to look at, any ideas you have, questions you have. If you want to look at historical trades, that's cool too. Just go ahead and drop those tickers, those stocks in the comment box. Both YouTube and Facebook should have those for you. Also on YouTube, you should have the ability to click and subscribe and all that. So, love for you to do that as well. So yeah, drop those in the comment box because our time is limited here. I want to be able to get to as many of your tickers as possible. Keep in mind that all the examples that we're going to go through in this live trading session should be viewed for educational purposes only and not taken as trading or investment advice at this time. All right, guys, I'm going to share my screen with you while you go ahead and get those tickers in. And we're going to look at the overall market first and see what's been going on. So you can see this is a little bit over a year of time. Back here, this is the end of 21. And then 22, almost like a year to the day. Almost a year to the day. We started our bear market here. Pretty nice downtrend, actually. This line's pretty sweet. Right before we broke for the break last couple weeks of December, we kissed that line again and came down. So this is where we are now. Let me go ahead and zoom us in. Let's see. We'll do 6 months. That works better. Cool. So the last time that we did Live Trading Thursday was the 15th of December, and we were on this candle right here. So we had just fallen off of this M pattern. You can see that M pattern right there, and then the drop below this support line right there. I could draw a little support line right in there. So we dropped below that. And, then here's kind of the last 2 weeks in the very beginning of January too. Last weeks of December, beginning of January. So this is what I'm saying. You haven't missed anything. If you haven't looked at the market in 3 weeks, we've just been going straight sideways. So it's kind of interesting, the market dynamics during the holidays and what happens. Oftentimes, it's pretty quiet. Not always. You can't bank on that, but oftentimes it is pretty quiet. And so you look at this straight sideways action and check out the volume too. You can see where kind of the average volume was. Pretty good volume here towards October. And then right here, you've got the week between Christmas and New Year's. And look at how low that volume is compared to the rest. So not a whole lot of action going on there. I am going to zoom in a little bit here. Now you can see that last couple days, we used the 20-day EMA as resistance. It went up there and came back down both of those days. You can also see that we've got a little bit of this higher low action going on here. Let me go ahead and draw a line. So we've got a little bit of that going on. That could change even by today, but even by the end of this 15, 20-minute session, we could have broken that line already. We'll just have to see, right? Keep an eye on it. But so that absolutely could change, but we've got some resistance up top. Got a little bit of support. At least we got some higher lows going, not necessarily higher highs yet. Another line we can drop here, and we'll do it this way. There we go. You see that line right there? Was resistance. Resistance turned into support on that huge gap. That huge gap right there turned into support. And it's been using that as some resistance here as well. So we've got a little bit of that action going on as well. Now, you might have caught what I did. I didn't even have to come up here and grab a line. What I did, I simply hit on my Mac, I hit Option T. Option T, you can go draw another line. On a PC, I think it's Alt T. That's a new feature that's just been added in, because while most people were off for holidays and everything, our friends at IVES that have been helping develop our Charts by Treyway platform, they've been continuing on adding in new features to the platform. We love them for that. They added this sweet new feature. It's a hotkey. And so Option T or Alt T will allow you to automatically bring up the drawing tool. So you just bring it up and then you can just draw as many lines as you want. And then you don't have to keep going up and clicking and choosing, up, clicking and choosing. So that's a really cool feature that's just going to help speed certain things up. So we definitely like that, and we're thankful for that. I just wanted to let you guys know that because I'm excited about that. So yeah, here we are. Here's where the market is. It's been going sideways for a few weeks. Where do we go from here? Are we going to push up? If we push up, we could run into this downtrending resistance line pretty quickly again. If we push down, let me zoom out again a little bit. If we push down, I wouldn't be surprised if we go make a lower low again. So we're just going to have to wait and see. All right, Jody, Marty, thank you guys for being on. So appreciate that. Jody's asking thoughts on Amazon laying off 18,000 people. Well, that is definitely unfortunate for all those workers. That's not a small number either. Let's take a look at their chart, right? Because there's two ways you could look at this. It sounds like really bad news, but from the investing standpoint, trading standpoint too, it could be like, well, it's less overhead, so potentially a more profitable company. Could look at it as well. They see, the top dogs at Amazon. They've obviously been doing something right because they're such a huge company now. They're smart. They can see that the economy is in trouble, so they might be taking some defensive measures, if you will, taking some actions to help them in case we do go into a full-blown meltdown, recession, depression kind of thing. So it might just be preparing for that in case. As far as the chart goes, I tend to pay a little less attention to the news because oftentimes you might find bad news is turned into good news or vice versa. But here's the chart. Here's Amazon. They've been downtrending. They got clobbered here, actually. That was actually on good earnings, too. They fell down quite a bit. And you can see that Amazon price is a whole lot lower than what we had seen in the past, right? Because they did a split. When was that split? Here we go. Back in June. They did a 20-for-1 split. But Amazon's been getting hit. Look at that. They were up in the 170s. Now they're about half of that. Okay, and that's not due to the split. That's corrected for the split. Their value is about half. So Amazon kind of getting clobbered here. Even the 20-day still showing to be some resistance. Even the last couple days, we can zoom in on that little cross section right there. 20-day bounce down from there. So that's really my views on Amazon. I wouldn't get bullish on it. Could there be the opportunity to get bearish on Amazon? Let me reset that zoom. Potentially, although it just moved down, right? If we see this thing go make a lower low and then pop back up, bounce down off the 20, those down moves that are hard to catch because they tend to move quickly, right? But if you see it move down off the 20, there could be the opportunity for a variety of trades, a put, a bear call, a bear put. There's definitely options that could be had there. Keep in mind, earnings is coming up February 2nd. So definitely enough time if you're wanting to do a shorter term trade like a a debit spread or a straight put even. You could do the credit spread. You still could do the credit spread, but you do want to make sure that your expiration on that credit spread would be before earnings. So yeah, definitely, laying off 18,000, definitely not good news, but the chart kind of speaks for itself. They haven't really been in a great spot all of last year. And this year, already bounced down off the 20 again. So looks like nothing's changing yet. So, yeah, great one to bring up, though. Thank you, Jody. Appreciate that. Marty's asking, would I draw some lines on Apple? Absolutely. Find that you can draw about 3 different angles, and I'm confused. Yeah, let's pull up Apple. And sometimes these guys are confusing, right? And oftentimes that's okay. if it's confusing, if you even with drawing lines on it, you can't really make sense of what's going on. And just by looking at the chart right now, I can tell you this is not the prettiest chart. It's not the ugliest, but it's not the prettiest. But if you can't really make sense of what's going on, it's obviously not your trade, right? That's just there's a little coaching nugget you really should take to heart. Like if you're having a hard time seeing the pattern, it's not you. Okay, it's okay. It's not you. It just means it's not your trade, and that is perfectly fine. There's like 10,000 tickers out there, so the fact that one of them isn't going to be free, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. And you may even have days where, you know what, I've looked at so many, maybe a couple hundred tickers and just nothing is sticking out to me. Well, then maybe that day isn't your trading day, and that's okay too. Patience is one of the best virtues a trader can have. And I know I hate hearing that, right? Patience. No one wants to hear that, but that is one of the things that's going to help us to be a better trader is patience. But anyway, let's draw some lines. Here we go. Option T. Nope, didn't do it that time. I think I had to select it first. All right, so here's a line that I'm seeing right there. So that's a nice downtrending resistance line. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6, 7 touches in there. We are, we're well below that now, right? I mean, if we wanted to trade a bearish trade off of this downtrending resistance line, we'd have to pull up quite a bit. Let's see here. Let's see if this works now. There we go. Option T. There it goes. Here's another line, right? You can't ignore this previous support that was there. You can pull that through, and obviously this last run, it didn't really care too much, let's see, this day it closed right close to that support, and then it pushed down, moved back up, and then came down. So this could potentially be one of those kiss goodbye patterns. Not really a pretty one, frankly, because it did go a bit above the support line here that I have drawn. But nevertheless, it pushed down below that. So in the real short term here, that's going to be a hard place to draw a line, right? I mean, what are we going to do? Grab a line from here down there? That is so steep. And that we don't even have 3 touches on that. So I would hold off on doing that line. You can see that, I mean, golly, Apple, it's just been, we don't usually talk about Apple being clobbered, right? I mean, for up until last year, it's like, you want an easy bullish trade, go look at Apple. But now, I mean, getting pounded down by the 5 EMA for most of the time. Briefly made it above the 5 EMA, just run into the 10 and then get slammed down. That was 2 days ago, Tuesday. That was a pretty big drop right there. Today, nothing better, still below the 5 EMA. Those are hard to catch, because what I want to enter into a bearish trade right now on Apple, it's so far removed. That's tough, right? But it hasn't given us a chance to get in. Maybe on Tuesday, if you had gotten in early Tuesday when it started dropping off that 10, that could have been a decent opportunity. You could have taken profit later on that day even. It's not wrong to do a day trade. It's not wrong. If it meets your trade plan, if you had said, hey, I'm getting into a put at 129 and my profit target's 125. So like near the previous low here, and it got to that 125 and it's the same day, you punch out, you take that profit. Or if the other thing happens where it's a stop out, you take that stop out, right? It's just what you got to do to stick to your trade plan. So sometimes a day trade does happen, and that's okay. But here we are. It's Apple. Yeah, Marty, these are the 2 lines that kind of jump out at me. If we went to bigger time frame, oh wow, so this low right here, it even went below that low. You could almost draw, I should have just done the option T. I'm still getting into that habit. You can almost draw a line right there and see how this is too much zoomed in, but you can see how it kind of used that as resistance a couple times and then moved back down again. Bigger time frame, 3-year. I mean, this is all old news, right? That nice bullish move that was pretty consistent. That's all old news there. So yeah, I don't think there's any other lines that I draw on there, Marty. I think you're good with those two, and I'm not even actually huge. It didn't do much on that line, so I'll get rid of that guy right there. All right, thanks for that one, Marty. Adam saying, is Meta at downtrend resistance, possible evening star forming? Yeah, let's take a look at Meta. See what we can see. All right. I'm going to kind of zoom a little bit to make it a little clearer to see. Okay. So it's definitely coming up to this 100 simple, right? I'm probably just going to undo what I just did here. Trying to find the downtrending resistance. You're probably going off of here. Okay, let's do that. Let's try and catch that line. So if we're looking at this right about there, it's right near the downtrending resistance. Depending on where you put your line, it could have broken it, right? If I put it right there, which is more in line with some of these guys right here, then it shows that we've broken it. If you look at this more recently, it's somewhere near there, right? It's not something that I would say for sure, oh yeah, it's broken resistance. This thing is going to take off. It's good to go. But recently it has looked a little bit better, right? I mean, it was down below $100 a share, now up to 126. So in the last couple months, and the market hasn't really been pretty the last couple months either. But the last couple months, Meta has done better. So, you mentioned the possible evening star forming. Potentially, I don't get too deep in the weeds of all the different types of all the different names of when you throw in the dojis and everything like that. I'm more concerned about what is the chart telling me that it might want to do. And it's a pretty good move up in the last couple days, and then it's slightly pulling back. So oftentimes we see that it might run to the 5-day or the 10-day EMA and then push up, right? And if it does that, then that's almost, a sure thing of, yes, it has broken this downtrending resistance line. So, and if it starts to make higher highs and higher lows in a consistent pattern, then you could look to trade that to the upside. Earnings is, just under a month away. So that would be something to keep in mind, depending on whatever trade you might be considering on that one. So yeah, definitely a good example to bring up there. It is near the downtrending resistance. It's not at a point where I would, give the thumbs up of like, yeah, it's time to get bullish on this, or yeah, it's time to get bearish on this. I'd say we need some more information still. So we'll kind of keep an eye on it and keep an eye on it too, along with the market. The market has been, the last few weeks has just been kind of sideways. So what do you do with that in relation to Meta? Meta was pretty sideways for a lot of December, has popped up the last few popped up a little bit the last few days. So if it can continue that, then we can say, yep, this downtrending resistance line is broken, and let's see if we can form a pattern towards the upside. So that could be nice. So that was a great one to bring up as well, Adam. I appreciate that. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with one I want to look at, and this kind of caught my eye because I was interested. I was looking at this one earlier today, right, on Semiconductor Corporation. And you can see this massive wick. And I was looking at this. I was considering a paper trade of sorts on this one. Getting some higher lows in action here, and it came right up onto this uptrending support line. It's like, if this thing pops up, I might consider entering a paper trade on this specific one. It was going to be some type of a longer term stock holding with a covered call on top. That's what I was kind of considering. But I was like, I'm going to wait till the end of the day because that's my trade plan, right? I'm going to wait till somewhere in the last hour of the trading day before I place that trade. Why? The closing price is the most important price of the day. And so I want to get as close to the closing price as possible, within reason. I don't want to try and put that trade through within the last second. That's going to be hard because a bid-ask spread is going to be tough. But somewhere in that last hour, when it's closer to the closing price, that's when I want to consider that trade. And that's actually why we do the live trading hour in the last hour. Anyway, a little side note there. And so it was looking good this morning, right? You can see it opened up here and it was looking like a small clear candlestick. I was hopeful. It actually went even higher than what I saw it initially. I was like, I'm just going to wait. And if it still looks like that at the end of the day, green light, let's do this. Well, I came back and looked at this thing just probably 15 minutes before we started this live trading session. And I was like, wow, look at that candle. Look how far it came back. And that is why I wait to the end of the day, because I don't want to get in. You know, what if I had gotten in at 63 and now all of a sudden it's down $3 or so from where I'd gotten in within just, a couple hours? That would be very frustrating mentally and everything. So anyway, just wanted to leave you with that quick little nugget of, why I like to wait to the end of the trading day. All right, guys, I want to let you guys know about a free webinar. It's going to take place next week, Tuesday. It is going to be one of our topical webinars, and this is going to be a Charts by Treyway specific webinar. I've just dropped the link in the comment box for both Facebook and YouTube there. This is going to be a webinar where we are going to go over all the new features that have been added last year. So the year 2022, you probably noticed we've been busy at work adding some great new features, things that you've already seen, like the watch list. Where did my mouse go? Like the watch list on the side of the chart, and several other things. You just got a little sneak preview of, being able to draw the lines using just that Option T or Alt T function right there. There's a lot of other good stuff in there. So Rance Mashek, he's the brains behind the operation of building this platform, right? He's a fantastic team partner with us in that. And so he's going to be leading us through a lot of the updates and features that have been added the last year. And he's going to go through it in a very specific way, with workflow in mind. How do we take these new features along with what's already been in there, and as a trader create a solid workflow of how do we do our homework? What are we looking for? And so I'm very excited about this. I hope you guys join as well next week, Tuesday, 11 a.m. Central Time. It'll be worth your while. So please join us for that. And with that, we're going to sign off for today. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next Thursday for Live Trading Thursday. Thank you, guys. We'll see you later.